Okay, guys, I'm here for something I do annually. It's one of the few things I still do annually. And it is my video about the WWE2K roster. The roster for WWE2K25 dropped today. Now, this is the base game roster, not the DLC roster. I am going to throw in the pre-order bonus stuff, but, yeah. So, I'll also give a DLC video when that drops. Now, this is about this thing right here. The WWE2K25 roster. That's what this video is going to be about. If you want my opinion on the rest of the game, I suggest you wait until after I play it, and I might do a review on it. But I don't want any discussion about anything that's not this roster. Because that's all this video is about. So, who's on the roster for this game? Well, we're about to find out. We have Wild Samoan Alpha, who also, by the way, has a manager variation, so that's interesting. Alpha is one of the two people who most of the bloodline is related to, so in a bloodline-themed game, you might as well have him here as a playable wrestler. AJ Styles, the phenomenal AJ Styles. Akam, new to WWE2K25, because yes, I know he's been in games before, but new just means they weren't in 2K24. Of course, he also got released for the second time, so don't know. Akira Tozawa of the Alpha Academy. I don't know why they're still called the Alpha Academy, given that Chad Gable isn't there, but whatever. Alba Fyre. The only member of the Unholy Union still here. Recently returned at the Royal Rumble, Alexa Bliss. Returning to the series, but wasn't in 2K24, Alundra Blayze. We have Andre Chase of Chase University. We have Andre the Giant, because we're always going to have Andre the Giant. He's probably a person who's always going to be here. We have Angel of Los Garza. We have Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits. Apollo Crews, guy who's injured. I might have been saved in the chopping block because of that injury. Ashante the Adonis, Carmen Petrovich's boyfriend down in NXT. Askua, she's had a lot of problems with social media stuff lately. Austin Theory. Axiom. B-Fab, who is not a manager now, she's playable, thus, for the sake of this video, she will be counted as a new addition. I know she's not because she was in 2K24, but she's new for the sake of, like Scarlett was last year, she's now a playable wrestler and not a manager. Batista. Baron Corbin, who, yes, did make it into the game despite being released at the end of December. Maybe why he's in the game. Bayley. Becky Lynch, who technically is not under WWE contract right now, but we all know she's probably going to be back at some point. Berto of Los Garza. That's a very dumb name. Bianca Belair, half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. Was she the one who took out Jade Cargill? I doubt it, but maybe. Big E. Probably in the showcase, I would imagine. Blair Davenport. Yeah. Made it into the game. Peaked in NXT. Had 5 matches on SmackDown, and, well, so much for that. The Boogeyman is still here. He's coming to get you, you know. The 5-time WCW champion, Booker T. The monster among monsters, of all monsters, Braun Strowman. WWE legend, and yes, that is a very sad thing to say, Bray Wyatt. Oh, and I'll get to that later, but also The Fiend. Which is a separate character, but Bret the Hitman Hart, who's probably going to be angry if people are... who probably going to get angry with his overall, because he always needs to be angry over something. He always needs to be angry over something these days. The British Bulldog. Bron Breakker, the current Intercontinental Champion. Bronson Reed. Brooks Jensen, who I think is with Sean Spears now in NXT. Bruno Sammartino, longest reigning champion in history of WWE, and is probably never going to be surpassed because I believe it's like 10 years total that he was WWE champion. Cumulative. Brutus Creed of American Made. Bubba Ray Dudley, not DLC this year. Cactus Jack, Candice LeRae, the new, I guess, princess for Nia Jax. Carlito, also not DLC this year. Carmelo, who, yes, is still under WWE contract. She just hasn't been seen since she gave birth, so yes, she probably will have an outdated model, but what do you expect WWE to do? What do you expect 2K to do? Go to her house and scan her? Carmelo Hayes. Cedric Alexander, yes, was released, still in the game, probably going to go to AEW, unless Tony Khan is very, very petty and just holds his beef against his wife while he doesn't want to sign Cedric Alexander. Chad Gable of American Made. Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Why can't we just call him Stacks? He hasn't been Channing Lorenzo since he's been here. They've always just called him Stacks. I know his official name is that, but he's now officially being called Stacks. He has a match on NXT, and they just said his name is Stacks. Can we just call him that, please? Charlie Dempsey of the No Quarter Catch Crew, making his debut in the series, and the son of William Regal. Charlotte Flair, 2025 Women's Royal Rumble winner. The first ever Women's United States Champion, Chelsea Green. Chyna, who does have a new model, at least a new attire anyway. It's based on the WrestleMania 17 model, which I don't even know why it's based on that. It's not going to show up in the showcase. That's about the Bloodline family. And neither Horde nor Ivory are even in that. So, CM Punk, who looks like he's in his SummerSlam gear, and I would know, I was at SummerSlam. Cora Jade, Cruz del Toro of the never-ending LWO. Can we just end that, please, and move on from the LWO? Devon Dudley, not DLC this year. Dakota Kai, maybe she'll become the Women's Intercontinental Champion. She has a match next week for against Lyra Valkyria. Damian Priest, El Champion. Dexter Lumis, this is his non-Wyatt 6 version. His other version of the Wyatt 6 is also in the game. Diamond Dallas Page, not DLC this year. Diesel. Doink the Clown, who ever since he came into WGK22 has not left the series yet. Dominic Mysterio with his mustache. Dragon Lee, not DLC this year. The guy who was the best part of WWE all last year, Drew McIntyre. The second face of Foley, Dude Love. Duke Hudson, so no, he was released, but still in the game, part of Chase U. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes are there. Not pre-order bonus DLC this year. Base game. Eddie Guerrero, and most likely his 97 variation. Eddie Thorpe, who just beat Trick Williams in his first ever PLE match, and he's been in this company for 3 years. Electra Lopez, who was just released, but is a member of Legado del Fantasma, so this is probably going to be her only game. Elton Prince of Pretty Diddly. Eric Bischoff, for some reason, is still playable. I don't even... Okay, whatever. Eric Rowan, who is part of the Wyatt 6 pre-order bonus. In fact, he's the only person from that game, from that group, who wasn't in the past game, who wasn't in 2K24. Eric of the War Raiders. All Ego Ethan Page. Thought he'd actually be DLC, making his debut in the series. Eve Torres. Farouk. That guy's a one-note joke now. Has always been a one-note joke lately. Fallon Henley. just lost the Women's North American Championship to Stephanie Vaquer. Head Shrinker fought 2. Yes, that is Rikishi before Rikishi and before the Sultan, actually. George the Animal Steel. Finn Balor. George the Animal Steel, back from not being a showcase wrestler this time. He is in the showcase, but he never had any match against any member of the Bloodline that I know of. I could be wrong. I don't know everything about wrestling history. Gigi Dolan. Giovanni Vinci, yes, still in the game and was bound to be released when he was kicked out of Imperium. Grayson Waller. The Great Muta, not DLC this year. The Ring General, the World Heavyweight Champion Gunta. Haku. Yes. The father of the Tongans. Technically a part of the extended Bloodline family, but not technically by blood. Harley Race. 7-time NWA champion. Inventor of the diving headbutt, and he always said he regretted inventing that move. Hollywood Hogan. The Honky Tonka Man. The Honky Tonka Man. The second longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in the history of that title. Not DLC this year. Hulk Hogan. You know, if he wasn't in the game, that wouldn't work for him, brother. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Yes, okay. We've had Jean-Paul Levesque the past 2 games. This is WWE Jean-Paul Levesque, because Jean-Paul Levesque was just Hunter Hearst Helmsley with a French accent. The Hurricane. Okay. Ilya Dragunov. Render didn't have the beard. Don't know if he's going to have the beard in the game or not. Just going to watch the renders said. They may not even be the official renders. Indy Hartwell, despite being released in the game. Sheiky Baby, the Iron Sheik, a guy who on social media almost always buried Hulk Hogan. Isla Dawn, the other half of the Unholy Union, in the game despite being released. Ivar, half of the World Tag Team Champions. Ivy Nile of American Made. Io Sky. He loves you, Solo. Jacob fought 2. Making his debut in the series. JC Jane. Jade Cargill. Not DLC this year. Jada Parker of OTM. Making her debut in the series. And ironically, the standout of that group. Jakara Jackson. Of the Meta Girls. Who somehow find a way to get women's tag team title matches despite always losing their opportunities at it. Jake the Snake Roberts. Yes, he's in AEW, but he apparently, a long time ago, signed his likeness over to WWE. JBL. I don't know why we just can't have the APA as the APA in this game. JD JD McDonough. Javon Evans from NXT. Thought he might be DLC. Main event Jey Uso, the winner of the Men's Royal Rumble. Surprising, but it was fine. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, because, of course. Jimmy Uso. Joaquin Wilde of the never-ending LWO. Joe Coffey. Joe Gacy, non-Wyatt 6 Joe Gacy, so Schism Joe Gacy. And also his Wyatt 6 version. John Cena, who you can't see, and also they didn't even bother to give an actual roster reveal render for, I guess. Johnny Gargano, Josh Briggs, Julius Creed of American Made. Kairi Sane, not DLC this year. Kane, and according to render, it's the same game that's been in here last few games and probably is a late version. I doubt you're ever going to get the Attitude Era Kane in this game. I doubt that's ever going to happen anymore. And you're probably not going to get his slow chemical thing, unless that's Kane 08. That might be the slow chemical one, but I don't think you're ever going to get the Attitude Era Kane back. Carl Anderson, yes, released, but still in the game. Karrion Kross of the Final Testament, a group that seemed to only be put together to get him over. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Kalani Jordan making her debut in the game, the first ever Women's North American Champion. I would have given that to Fallon Henley, or someone else who may come up later, or someone else who might come up later, but Ken Shamrock from non-showcase now, Kevin Nash, Kevin Owens, Kiana James, new to WWE2K, making her debut this year, and quite frankly, if she was not drafted to Raw, I think she actually could have also been a good candidate for the first ever Women's North American Championship. Kit Wilson of Pretty Deadly, Kofi Kingston of the Boo Day, Kurt Angle, missed one game. Wasn't he, he missed 2K22, then showed up in 2K23 and 24, and now this game. Kinda weird. LA Knight, yeah. Lash Legend, the other half of the Meta Girls. Lex Luger. Render showed Made in USA Lex Luger, but his 2K24 model is WCW 99 Lex Luger, even though they had 97 Lex Luger music. Lexis King, debuting in the game. Lita. Liv Morgan. Her revenge tour just ended. Logan Paul. I don't really have a lot to say about Logan Paul. I admire what he does in the ring, but I don't like the guy I don't really like the guy outside of there, but Lola Vice. She has cut the same promo a lot about, at least NXT shows that. NXT always likes, in her big hype packages, showing her repeating that promo from her NXT Women's title match. Ludwig Kaiser, because of course he's going to be here. Luke Gallows, yes, released, still in here. Lyra Valkyria, and her salty version, and her salty variation. Mankind, Render showed Brown Mankind, whether or not that's the Mankind we're getting, who knows. Mark Coffey, Maurice, Maxine Dupree, new WWE Hall of Famer Michelle McCool, Michin, Mighty Molly, The Miz, Molly Holly, Montez Ford, Headbanger Mosh, not DLC this year, same thing with Michelle McCool, same thing with Flyer Valkyria. Mr. Fuji, who, yes, is playable. He also, I know for a fact, has at least an alternate attire where he's a manager for Yokozuna, but he's not listed in the manager list, and apparently he is going to be playable, so that's interesting. Mr. Perfect, not DLC. The Glow is back in WWE2K games, as Naomi is back. New addition, because she has not been in the games since 2K22. Natalia, who might have another version in the showcase. Nathan Frazier, one half the NXT Tag Team Champions. Nia Jax, who has a showcase match. Nikki Cross, this is her non-Wyatt 6 version. Her Wyatt 6 version is also in the game. Nikita Lyons, who has been able to stay injured for more than about who has been able to actually stay healthy for more than about a month. Because generally she comes back and gets injured. Noam Dar, the NXT champion, Oba Femi. If he would have been DLC, that would have made no sense. Because that guy has been here before even Paige and a lot of other people on this roster. And yet if he would have been DLC and not base game, and even Paige was base game, that would have been the weirdest and dumbest thing I've ever seen. Omos, who they sent to Japan recently. Oro Mensa, so all Metaphor is here finally. Only took, 3 games to get that group here? Otis, Pat McAfee. Yes, Pat McAfee is here by himself, so no, his little buddies are not here. They're not in this game again. Pete Dunne, as Pete Dunne again, first time since what, 2K22 he's been Pete Dunne? The High Chief Peter Maivia, The Rock's grandfather. Okay. That was a surprise. But again, he's a part of the bloodline and he has a showcase match. Because 2K said every member of the bloodline has a show who's in this game has at least one showcase match. Piper Niven. R-Truth. He doesn't know he's in WWE2K25. R-Truth, we may not even know he's in this game. Because he doesn't know what brand he's on. He doesn't know what match he's in. Randy Orton. Because, well, it's Randy Orton. The Macho Man Randy Savage. Not listed under M's, at least on the IGN roster reveal, but probably will be listed there in the game, because that's what they've been doing. Razor Ramon. Raquel Rodriguez. Render shows updated attire. Whether or not she is updated, I can't tell you. Rey Mysterio, the WWE Hall of Famer, and did beat Dad. Razor of AOP also got released for the second time. Rhea Ripley and her 2020 version. That's a fact because that was in gameplay footage. Ravishing Rick Rude, not showcased this year, I would imagine. Rick Steiner showed his non-Steiner brother render, but he's probably going to have a Steiner brother version because it's probably going to be a showcase match, I would imagine. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, not in the showcase this year. Maybe he will be. I don't think he is. Ridge Holland, the guy who broke up Chase U. Rikishi, as Rikishi, and not any of his other selves besides Spot 2. Rob Van Dam, who is still here. He better be at Night 2 WrestleMania, because that's on 420. The Rock, Final Boss Rock, to be exact. We also have Nation Domination Rock if you get the Bloodline Edition. But really, since you can buy all that separately except that one Persona card, it's probably going to be way overpriced, I don't really care. And speaking of The Rock, Rocky Maivia. Yes, Rocky Maivia, the meat toast babyface that debuted in 1996. I'm amazed Rock wants that part of him in the game. Roman Reigns and his 2022 version. Acknowledge your tribal chief. Rosie, Roman Reigns' brother. Oh, and also Jamal, too, from 3 Minute Warning. Yeah, Jamal's here, too, from 3 Minute Warning. So, now, they showed Rosie as a superhero in training, so I imagine a 3 Minute Warning have a showcase match, and Hurricane and Rosie have a showcase match. I imagine. I could be entirely wrong on that, but... Roddy Piper. Roxanne Perez, the now record holder for longest time spent in a women's Royal Rumble at 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 47 seconds. Sami Zayn. Head Shrinker Samu. This is the son of Alpha. So, no surprise about that. The Sandman. Again, not DLC this year. Santos Escobar. The leader of Legado del Fantasma. Scarlett. Despite the fact she's never had a televised match in WWE, to my knowledge, she's now been playable in 2 games. B-Fab had more matches than her and was stuck as a manager for 2 years. Scott Hall. Scott Steiner. They showed Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. Whether or not you're getting that in the game, who knows? It's probably going to be a Steiner version of him in the game anyway because of the head shrinkers. The sensational Sherry Martel, not DLC this year. Seth freaking Rollins and his 2022 Shield when he pretended to be in the Shield again. Shawn Michaels. The chairman of AEW, I guess now the chairman of NXT, Shawn Spears, making his technically return to the series, but is new to 2K25. He was last in, I believe, 2K19. Sheamus, the men's United States champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, or Nakamura. Shotzi, Sol Ruka, debuting in the series. Solo Sikoa, the Timu Tribal Chief. Sonya Deville of Pure Fusion Collective. Celebrates her 10-year anniversary of signing in WWE, and then they decide not to release her contract. Stacy Keibler, Stardust. Stephanie McMahon, who's the only playable McMahon here because Shane's not here. And because of the civil lawsuit, that's different than the federal charge. That was a criminal case. The Janelle Grant thing is a civil case. So, and she also has a manager version. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Superstar Billy Graham, not pre-order DLC. 6. Tama, this is Haku's partner in the Islanders, the father of Jacob Fatu. Tamina, who's probably in the showcase. Tama Tonga. Yeah, Tama Tonga made it. Tatum Paxley from NXT. She has issues. Terry Funk, not DLC this year. Thea Hale, The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Thrasher, not DLC this year. The Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, who's now a face because they needed to make her a face anyway because she's going to be a face on the purposes at WrestleMania against Charlotte Flair. Tommaso Ciampa. Tonga Loa, a guy who's had very few matches in this company because he botched his first 2 big spots in it. Tony D'Angelo, the North American Champion. Trick Williams, who hopefully will be updated and not his same model from 2K23 and 4. Triple H. Trish Stratus, who's having a match at Elimination Chamber next Saturday. Tyler Bate. Tyler Breeze, who counts as a legend now, by the way. The Ultimate Warrior. Umaga. Uncle Howdy. Now, I don't know if he has a non-Wyatt 6 Uncle Howdy look. I don't know about that. But he is here as part of the Wyatt 6. For some reason, Uncle Howdy has managed to be DLC 3 straight years. That's got to be a record, that's got to be a record, huh? The Undertaker and his 1990 version, if you get the Dead Man edition, which it was physical, I would have gotten. But it's not physical because it's not the deluxe edition, even though it is a deluxe edition, but it's not branded as a deluxe edition. Vader, Valhalla. What are they going to name her when she comes back since they're not the Viking Raiders anymore? Is she going to go back to being Sarah Logan? Wade Barrett, showed his commentator winter, but it's probably going to be the same model he had in 2K23 and 24. Wendy Chu, who at least is updated to the Sleepy Psycho. Wes Lee, who is most likely at least updated in his heel look. William Regal. He needs to scream War Games again. Wolfgang, so all 3 members of Gallus. X-Pac, yes, X-Pac and Six, they are 2 different characters. Xavier Woods, the other half of the Bude. Yokozuna, Zelina Vega, and Zoe Stark. That's the roster for WWE 2K24 of playable wrestlers. It's 250. Now, there are a few managers. We have Adam Pearce. We have Afa as a manager version. We have Ava. We have Captain Albano. We have Kathy Kelly. We have Nick Aldis. We have Paul Bearer, Paul Heyman, and Paul Ellering. We have Stephanie McMahon, Theodore Long, Armando Alejandro Estrada, and Captain Lou Albano. And Mr. Fuji may or may not be on the man. He's definitely on the playable list. I know he for a fact. Oh, and Jimmy Hart is a manager. I know for a fact he's also a manager in the showcase of a Yokozuna match. So I don't know how that's going to work. Is that just going to be an attire for Mr. Fuji, or what's they going to do with that? So there you go. The full list of this, of this entire thing, will be down in the description. The asterisk will denote a new superstar. And by new, I mean if they were not in WWE2K24. Because there are a lot of these people who are new to 2K25, but have been in WWE games before. Also Andrade is on this game too. I forgot to mention Andrade, but he's here too. So, recently got divorced from Charlotte Flair. Wonder if he feels like an idiot for trying to get released from his contract yet. So, yeah. So, if you like this video, like button is down there. Comment, like button down there, subscribe button is down there, and comment if you like. And thank you for watching. Bye.